Well, good morning. How are you doing? This is the regular Space Junkie Takeover, and I'm Sabi, and I've got David here with me. Hello, David. How are you?
Hello, Sabi. Hello, everyone. Nice people all around the world. Yeah, we are back again because it's
Yes,
Monday again.
yes, and it looks like the weather is quite all right down at Starbase as well.
hmm
We are going to bring you purely, mostly purely SpaceX related news today. We're going to talk a lot about Starship, what's on the horizon, the crazy pace that they are dictating now with the Booster 19, and all the details basically related to Starbase. And we're going to take a look at Kennedy Space Center as well, because over there, there was some flyover and yeah, lovely photos we have
hmm
in store for you. So, yeah, I think without further ado, let's just kick off and let's see what's going on lately at the Starbase. It looks like the last pieces of Booster 18 is getting cleared from Messi's.
Yeah,
The
finally,
troubled one. The troubled one.
the cursed one. Yeah,
The
unfortunately,
cursed
as
child. Yeah.
as maybe you all know what happened to the booster 18. Yeah, it's a sad story, but SpaceX left behind this sad story, and they are focusing in the future. We will talk about it soon, but yeah, it's quite interesting because somehow, or I don't know why, but they had a reason for that. They rolled back to the production side this forward section with the interstage, hot staging interstage. Maybe it's a bit mm, interesting idea, but maybe they will reuse it. Who knows? Because the cutting, so the cutting where how they just cut it out from the other booster section, it seems quite clear and quite
Hmm.
straight. So maybe it's a totally crazy idea. It just ran through my mind. So
Hmm.
I don't know
Hmm.
what how do you think about it, Sabi?
To be honest, I honestly have no clue because we don't see exactly what they are planning with it. Either way would be totally feasible. If they see that there is no real damage to it, then probably they will give it a shot. Probably they will inspect it and then they will reuse it because why
hmm
not? But with SpaceX, I mean, seeing how many hardwares they just scrapped in the past, I would not be surprised if they would just scrap it and they
Yeah.
would just do a brand new. And to be fair, seeing the pace of the production of the new booster, to be honest, do they really need it? Not sure. I mean, do they have to reuse it even if they could? Hmm,
hmm
good question. But
Or
definitely
maybe,
during the
sorry.
show,
No.
just one sentence. During the show, if you guys at the chat, if you have anything to add, any observation, any questions, just tell us because we want to know your opinion about it as well. Yep, sorry.
So yeah, one idea that maybe they will use only this interstage section, so the hot staging interstage. I won't call it anymore hot staging ring because it's not a ring anymore. It's an integrated part of the
Hot staging
booster.
section.
Yeah, hot staging yeah, maybe that's the best nomenclature. So yeah, maybe they will reuse it because as far as I know, it's kind of easy to change or
Hmm.
swap. So they just click it out from these housings, what we can see, and they just put it on in another other section, and that's all. So it's
Hmm.
quite fast, changeable or reusable.
Hmm.
Anyway, it happened during the weekend, and maybe the aft section. Yeah, we can see a bit covered, but behind this forward section, we can see the aft section, what remained of
Hold
it.
on. We got an answer. It's a HSIRS, hot staging integrated ring section.
Okay, I
Probably been
won't.
no.
No, it's too long, or I won't use it. Sorry.
To be honest, if you just call it the hot staging ring or hot staging section, I think everybody knows exactly what we mean.
Yeah,
Actually, I pretty like this because it's so resembling to the Russian style hot staging sections,
yeah,
especially now that there was a lot of talk about the Soyuz rocket and the launching pad, the launch pad at Baikonur. I think I personally saw a lot of photos about the Soyuz, and you can look through, and I just
and the
jump.
and one had the same interstage as well, if I'm correct, and one rocket.
And one, yes, 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 yes. And on this render, I really like. I just jumped ahead for a sec because this is SLC 37. And look, I mean, I like the render because it shows exactly. This is so Russian style. If nobody
Yeah,
knows what the Russian rockets they look like, yeah, it's the resemblance is vivid. So yes, I don't think we have any photos today about the Gigabay at Starbase, but we have a photo of Ship 37. So sorry, Ship 39. Apologies.
yeah, and of course that's the heat shield section or heat shield side,
Right.
and we can see it's quite clear. So there is a development behind it, and yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost finished. I mean, the whole only the aft section is a bit it's requiring a bit more work because um, yeah the fins, yeah, I know the word. The aft fins are missing, but they are, I guess they are waiting for the test data of S39.1 or testing 18 because it had already 3 tests at passes. So yeah, there is a development uh, covering in the masses. So
Which
yeah,
one
it's
is this? Is this the
it's
one in the
quite crowded.
cage?
So yeah, in the front of course, it's the remaining of the booster 18. Then we have the test tank 17 or B 18.3.
18.3.
Yeah, it's supposed to withstand the different stretches or different forces during max Q. So um, yeah, and they had it popped out. I don't know, a couple of months ago. Anyway, it's still there, and yeah, we have the booster or B 18.1,
Mm-hmm.
and from this angle we can't see the S39.1, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's still there. So it's actually 100% 100% covered. So it's behind this cage.
I think I can dig out a photo from last week about Messi's and probably I can show you that, but I no, I don't. Anyway, we believe it's there.
Yeah, on the weekend it was there. So
It was there. Okay, it should be there.
yeah.
It is still
So
there.
just very quick, the B18.1 is for crash testing the aft section of the booster and the new methane transfer tube and the primary tank structure. And the B18.3 is supposed to test the push-pull and the twist testing, the grid fin cavities, and the new forward dome design.
Hmm.
So
Cool.
that's the purpose of these 2 test articles.
Cool, 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 cool. Right.
Okay.
Just a bit maybe about the Gigabay because they
Mm-hmm.
are doing pretty good. I mean, those cranes are very active, and we can see almost clearly every week is getting taller and taller. It seems like they're really focusing on both gigabays at both locations.
Yeah, but if I'm correct, they haven't started the level 2, but I guess they are almost finishing the level 1.
Hmm.
And of course, it means a lot and a lot of of steel. But yeah, since they have 4 cranes and it's not rainforest but crane forest, haha, then they can process much faster instead of one if they had only one tall tower crane. So yeah, they are processing quite fast, and maybe they are about to start at level 2. I guess it's only question of they have questions, or I don't know how to say anyway. Yeah, so they are processing quite fast, but they need it because at the beginning of 2027 they want to have the production to start, at least, or not the production because that's the Star Factory. So rather the um, the storage
Assembly.
capacity and the processing of the boosters and storage of the boosters. So that's all that will. So the Gigabay will have different tasks
Mm-hmm.
in the
Cool.
different bays.
Cool. We show you one photo of the of Pad 2 because that's coming together very nicely. I mean, is the hood back? So is this current?
Yeah, so these are quite fresh photos, and maybe the hoods were
Removed.
removed because of
Hmm.
some intersections between the top of the and the bottom section of this entire covering, and yeah, they just figure out how to match them much better, and that's the final phase, I think. So in terms of the hardware, I think they are almost finishing the Pad 2, and as Felix mentioned in one of the previous videos, he expects the Pad 2 will be ready around middle of January, so in about 1 month. So we are
Hmm.
almost there, but it doesn't mean that a Starship could be launched from this pad, because there are lots of sub systems they have to test. Of course, maybe yeah, we just talked about it before the show. That maybe it's during a test actually. What we can see, maybe that's a water curtain in the middle. Maybe they have tested the deluge system on the top plate deluge, for example. We are not
Hmm.
sure about it, but at least they are progressing quite well to finish this pad. And there are lots of different sections and different subsystems, and of course the cryogenic propellant tank system, and the deluge systems. There are different of them, because there is the flame trench deluge system, and they have a separate um, platform deluge system as well. So yeah, it's quite complicated to finish everything, but they are almost there, so it's a quite good thing.
Hmm. And also about the chopsticks, the fitting tests.
Of
They
course,
need a
yeah.
booster to actually see that everything matches and fits and
And of
everything
course,
designed properly. Hmm.
yeah, and they have to finish the SQD, so the ship quick
Hmm.
disconnect arm, because they have installed it on the tower, but it doesn't mean it's ready, because they have to connect the pipes with the ground system. So yeah, there is lots of things to do, but it's every time a bit less and less day by day.
Hmm. Yep. Um, there's a conversation in the chat about which pad gonna do catch, and what articles. So none is saying who wanna bet on a launch pad 2 booster catch and pad 1 ship catch. Pad 2 on pad 2 booster catch, pad 1 ship catch, pad 2. I don't understand the
I'm a
second
bit
pad 2.
confused.
Me too. But as far as I I know, a pad 2 will catch both, don't they? Not won't it?
They could, because
Well, it
as
has
far
to
as we
because yeah, pad 1 won't be ready for a while.
so anytime a ship recovering will happen, we don't know which flight will be, but it won't fly only one orbit. So it will fly around 6 orbits. So it takes about 9 hours or something like that. So I just want to say that they will have time to catch the booster, put it on the ground from the chopsticks, and the chopstick can prepare for the catch of the ship after it. So it won't mean that the booster is coming back, okay, one orbit and the ship is coming back as well, but because it will be separated in time, just because to test the ship itself during orbit, how it works, how the propellant heating up, so on, and that means that they will have time to catch both stages on one pad or one chopstick.
Absolutely.
And actually, as we have seen the return trajectory, it shows the pad 2 for the ship as well, if I'm correct. So that means they will use each pad for launch and catching both stages.
Absolutely. Yes, I wanted to add something to it, but I kind of forgot it. Oh yeah, Flight 12 definitely won't be a catch. That's 100% sure. If I would have to put my money, that I don't think it will be sooner than Flight 14, because even if they have one, well, it's SpaceX, but even if they have one flawless flight for the first time with the third generation booster and ship, I don't think they're gonna try a catch for the second time, because it means that it needs to go on orbit. They cannot do a suborbital flight and then come back immediately. I don't think that's possible. Well, just because the booster will be there.
Yeah,
Or
I'm just thinking about the first recovery attempt. So maybe the booster, if everything goes well on flight 12, so the next or the first flight of the new generation, maybe they will try to catch the booster on flight 13, but I'm almost 100% sure that they won't try with the ship as well. So at least on flight 14, but it's still quite early, because that will be only the third flight of this entirely new generation, and maybe they want to test it in a suborbital trajectory. So yeah, but who knows that? But it's sure that it won't be on flight 12 or flight 13 as well, either.
I don't even think that they will try to catch booster for 13, for flight 13.
We'll see.
I think they want to demonstrate that it can land with an accuracy. That would be a very bold move if for the first attempt they would yeah, guys in the chat, let us know, when do you think they're gonna try to land the first booster and the first
But
ship.
we talk about SpaceX, so
No,
I guess
I
nothing would
know,
be surprised.
I know. It's just the risk.
They are quite crazy
It's
guys
not
there.
worth taking, because Elon Musk was mentioning, right, that they are planning to actually do a flight a month after flight 12. So
Yeah, that's the plan.
yeah, why to risk it, to be fair? I mean, it depends on how the production with the booster is going. But I can see a good segue is coming to our way, because is the booster is the bottleneck. So here is a chart that actually showing how the booster assembly was going with booster 18, that's the blue one, and the orange one is booster 19, and it's kind of crazy. This was the point when they started really slowing down with 18, and it doesn't look like they are slowing down at all with booster 19.
Yeah, but to be frank, the booster 18 was already started to stagnate um, much before the V2 or Block 2 was resigned, or not resigned, but going out,
Retired.
retired. Yeah. So yeah, and if SpaceX is required to work fast, then they can work fast. But I hope it won't be a negative. It won't be a negative point in the production, because the rush doesn't mean that it doesn't mean all the time the best solution. But now the time is up, so they have to be hurry up, and because they need the booster 19 to be finished as soon as possible, because they want to start the test campaign, and as we all know, it will be an entire new system. So it won't be like that in case of the last booster. So okay, one cryo test, one or maximum two cryo tests, then rolling back for Raptor installation, then going back to static fire, going back to the Mega Bay one, preparing for launch, and that's all. So I guess the first boosters, and not the very first, but maybe the, I don't know, first 2 or 3 boosters will require more tests, and it takes of course more time. But as far as so currently what we have seen last week, it's entirely a smash mode. What in the Star Factory the guys or the welding robots have made, because yeah, as we have seen in the chart, in every other they have rolled out a new 4-ring section for the booster locks, so the oxygen section, and they have already installed the transfer tube, which is one of the most important part of the booster. So that's actually the Falcon 9 size transfer tube, and now they can turn on the methane section, and it's much smaller, or not much, but it's smaller. So it contains only, or it has only 3 sections. So maybe the booster 19 will be ready. The hull itself will be ready in about 1 or 1.5 week, maybe. Who knows? If they can continue this pace. So yeah, and of course it doesn't mean that the booster can go to the masses for the first cryo test, because they have to install the different piping, the electric wiring, and everything which is required for the first test. But at least if they are finished the whole, it's a very good point.
You mean, you're fitting the piping on the booster, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I think we forgot to mention that they are inspecting right now the booster stand at Massey's, because it's a big question mark still that is anything damaged with the booster 18 anomaly. And I think Felix was covering it in the latest episode, so it's definitely worth watching the Friday episode. He's covering this as well. Good question. He speculates that it looks okay, and visibly there's nothing major damage on the test stand. But yeah, it's a big question. That is it really okay or not? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
So I'm not an engineer, but I think this pop out of the booster 18 wasn't so energetic that the test stand could be damaged. But yeah, I'm just thinking
And the
out loud.
piping and all the stuff, because it's not just the
Yeah.
standard stuff. But yeah, but they definitely need to check it before
Of course, yeah.
they carry out the Booster 19 test. So yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah,
I think that's
hopefully.
why they have rolled it out with the aft section of the booster remaining, and they haven't removed it at the masses, because they want to make a massacre
Yeah,
in the
true.
piping or in the wiring. What is left on it?
Yeah, yeah. So as we mentioned, so Booster 19 is getting ready, slowly but surely. Hopefully, sooner than later. Hopefully this month it will roll out to Macy's and do the first checks. That would be great if 2025 will end with this sort of with the fact that Booster 19 is getting ready. With the ships, obviously, there's not much happens. We just mentioned ship 39 is getting kind of there. You can see that the aft flap is missing, but the forward flap is on, isn't it? I think this
Yeah,
shows.
it's on. It's on the nose cone already.
Cool. Oh yeah, they do it together, right? The whole
Yes.
nose cone. Yeah. Okay. So we don't know the current phase, but it looks like the ship 39 is very near to completion, and then 40 is, and the rest is just, yeah, the Northcon team is doing an excellent job lately, but the rest of the team is not really. Maybe they're already on holiday or something.
Yeah, it's interesting and maybe yeah, it's interesting why the 42 has already two sections ready. I know answer is
No,
42 is
no,
answer for everything we know. But
no. I don't see any connection with that. Do you think that they know that? I've seen this.
that will be a special ship, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, it will have golden transfer tubes or something.
Maybe that will be
Uh,
the first one to catch. Who knows? We'll see.
we will see. Yeah, indeed. All right. Let's finish with Starbase and let's turn our attention towards Kennedy because there are some cool stuff happening at Kennedy Space Center. The Giga Bay is at the neck-breaking speed. It's crazy.
Yep, since they have began it much earlier than the Starbase team, of course they are in a later phase of the construction, so they are on the level 3 already, as we can see on this nice flyover photo. So yeah, for a couple of weeks they had only two tower cranes, but they have built the other two. So yeah, they are full steam ahead in the construction of the Gigabay. But again, they require it pretty much because they want to have the first launch in 2026 in about 1 year from now, or maybe less than 1 year.
Crazy.
So, however, they won't have a star factory to build the starships, so the stages, and of course the 39A. It's a big question mark when will be it ready, but since the construction on the launch pad is quite, it has a good pace as well. Maybe they can do it. So the question is how or when they will transfer the first booster and ship from the Starbase to Florida, because I guess we have already talked about it a couple of months ago what are the plans. So I was I've seen an information about maybe the booster 22, but that was original plan and maybe it's already changed. So originally the booster 22 should have been the first booster to transfer or transport from a Star Factory or Starbase to Florida. Maybe it's not anymore the plan, but around booster 25, 4, 5-ish, I don't know. But it will be sure that the first stages will be transferred from one to another point, because the Florida site won't have the capacity and yeah, have the capacity to construct, because they won't have the Star Factory as I mentioned. But still they will have the Gigabay, at least for storage or preparation. And yeah, so it's a
You
good
see,
question.
I never thought about it they are really behind with the Star Factory project. So
But yeah,
how long
but
do
they
you
will.
think they're gonna be without Star Factory?
So as I mentioned, they will transfer from Starbase to Florida
I
because
understand, but how
yeah.
long is gonna take for them? Because at the moment, if I'm correct, this is gonna be the Star Factory area.
And it will be connecting with the Gigabase, so you can
Uh-huh.
add almost one more big yellow part.
Oh wow.
So it will be much bigger compared to the Star Factory at the Starbase. And
Okay.
it's not a small building either.
Next to it or behind it?
So next to it will be connected with the Gigabay.
Oh, okay. So this
Yeah,
area, you mean?
yeah.
I
That's this whole
see.
area will be the new Star Factory at the
Gotcha.
Roberts Road. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
as Trump would say, it would be huge.
Huge, indeed. Yeah,
So, but
that's
of
crazy.
course, it will take time to build it up. Uh,
Hmm.
as well as for SpaceX. So we know that they can construct and build fast, but they will require a couple of months or maybe 1 year or 1.5 year to build this whole star factory, this enormous building. Until that, they can only storage the stages, and that's why it's quite important to have the first booster and maybe the first ships already to be caught at Florida, because they won't have other in the store or in the
Mhm.
stock. So yeah, it's quite interesting plan, and
Crazy. Uh,
it's yeah.
People are speculating if they should fly these stages. To be
Yeah.
honest, you know what? It's such a crazy thought right now, but in a year time, if they will have enough experience, I mean, technically, that's not impossible, is it?
Um, Based on the inclination, theoretically maybe they could do it, but
Yeah, yeah. Because
I'm not sure.
if they have the flight experience, I mean, honestly, is they've done, we know that for fact, SN88, sorry, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 15. So they were doing these tests. So technically the ships couldn't do that. Where to start it from, that's a different question. You know, fly the booster, yeah, I get it. Fly the ships, mm, I mean, they don't have anything to launch it from, and
I
yeah.
guess by the boosters it's impossible because they won't have the trajectory for it. So maybe the ships could do if they if they fly a couple of orbits, but the boosters are not capable to make a so big distance between Texas
What's
and
the
Florida.
difference? Okay, people in the chat, please tell us what's the distance between Florida and Starbase? Because now I'm wondering because if the Falcon 9 can do a landing on a drone ship and that's like 650 kilometers,
Yeah.
which is like what 400 and something miles or around that. Technically, I think the booster can do that.
Why?
Um, if they launch it, let's say if they do a launch, let's say um, a Starlink launch, and then the booster is not coming back, but instead go to Florida, and then the ship, when it's done, it will land in here instead of Starbase.
No, I think it's totally impossible
Hmm.
to cover the distance between Texas and Florida for the boosters because
Hmm.
they it won't have the trajectory either. So it's it's more
Somebody's.
than
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. 1200. Is it kilometers? 1200
But
kilometers.
that was a record for a Falcon 9, but that was for the fairings. So the fairing
No, no, no. I think
ship.
somebody was suggesting the distance between.
So
Yeah.
it's much bigger.
Hmm.
What the Falcon 9 can fly on with a drone ship landing. So
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
and on it's another thing that the booster
Miles.
has
Yeah.
to have to um, have the attitude and everything to
Hmm.
just point directly to the catch tower. So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
it's much harder to have the proper inclination and everything compared to a drone ship landing,
Hmm. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
angle of the catching sorry, just one sentence. So because of the drone ship has one deck, as we all know, and the Falcon 9 has to point not all the time in the middle point, but
Next to it. Yeah.
the towers, so the Starship towers
Hmm. Hmm.
and the chopsticks have an angle, and
Hmm.
it has to be uh, it has to be uh, think about think about or just put
Consider.
in the
Yeah.
mathematics and everything, physics as well, how to just point directly to the chopsticks.
Hmm.
So it's a totally different story in at least how I feel I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ekiji was saying about 800 miles as the crow flies, but you don't want to boost gliding across Florida. Too high risk to population. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. With the ships, probably it's possible. I mean, it must be possible. Okay, the inclination is definitely a big question mark, but at some point they need to land at Florida as well. So, when a ship will come back from orbital trajectory, it should be able to sort of fly above Florida as well, because there's no other way if it's coming from west. So
Yeah.
that's definitely just like with Starbase. Um, but yeah,
So
no,
solution will be a barge, which is already finished in terms of the construction. So
mhm,
that's the point.
yeah, they should sail out a barge like 600-700 kilometers, land on it, and then halfway is done.
Oh yeah, that's a different
No,
solution.
definitely
Okay,
not. Okay,
but
well
I guess
then
the
the
boosters
barge.
won't fly just itself or themselves. So
No, I'm just thinking out loud. Obviously, we all remember that SpaceX was sharing those photos of ships and boosters on barges, so they
yeah.
are definitely considering the solution for it. But I mean, yeah, it was a good sort of thinking over that how what the possibilities are. Anyway, back
So
to
that was
the
the left part of this this area, but we have
Mhm.
a right part as well.
Indeed we do.
And what we have, what we can see on it that new tower sections are ready. So it's actually a new tower, so it's enough. So it has not. There are 9 sections ready, and and that will be the first tower for the 37, I think, or maybe I'm not right. I have to think about maybe that will be the. But 39A will have two. Yeah, that it will have 2 towers.
Two
I
towers. Two.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then
And
maybe
one
that will
and
be the
one
second
and
tower
a
of
catch tower
39A.
only will be the
Yeah,
second, if I remember well.
yeah, that's right. But on 37, they will have 2 launch and catch towers. That's for
Mhm.
sure because the EIS shows this solution.
There we go.
And once we are here at the
Official
37 on
render.
it was mentioned. Yeah, it's
hmm
a nice render of from SpaceX. Thanks for it.
hmm
And yeah, we have talked about it last week that that's a quite good point that the EIS was finished and issued. That means that the SpaceX can have the lease already, but they don't have the contract for the lease. But at least the EIS is ready, so they can sign the lease contract. That means they can start the building. So
This is
at
this
least
is 37.
yeah, so they have demolished everything what was connected with the ULA. So that was the old launch complex for the Delta rocket family, and that was the VIF, or there was the VIF, there was the launch tower and everything like that. So everything was just demolished and it's gone. So yeah, as I mentioned now that if SpaceX will have the lease contract, they can start the building of the 2 launch towers or the 2 flame trenches, of course. And it will be quite interesting whether they will start it parallel both launch pads or they will start with one and they will build it up. And if it's ready, then they go for the second one. Um, but in terms of the tower sections, they can move quite fast forward. So it won't require too much time to build 2 more tower section. Um, so it at so 18 sections in total. The other infrastructure is a different story, but at least 1 more tower is ready in terms of the sections. But that will go maybe for 39A. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the story behind it. And
hmm
And yeah, that's all.
To be honest, I was just looking up and okay, so in the chat, people are saying that there will be one launch tower at 39A, and probably they canceled the plans because I do remember as well that Felix was saying as well, and at some point that was the plan that there will be two towers at the 39A.
Hmm.
But as I just looked up, somebody was sharing launch pads, two at Starbase, one at LC-39A, and two at Slick-37. Yeah.
It can be.
So yeah, so probably that's the valid number. But tell us please in the chat. Um, yeah,
And maybe in the long term, and I mean long term, maybe they will have 6 other launch pads or towers at
yeah,
LC-49. But yeah, that's long term plan.
yeah, very long-term plan. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Right. So this is 39A. You can see that the launch pad here is coming together. I can still see the sticker and a stack me
Yes, Stack
uh
is still on.
heart sign on it. And yeah, so the construction is ongoing. As you can see, the new launch pad is coming together very nicely. So you said that
And the
next,
tank farm as well. Sorry.
uh-huh. And by the end of next year, they are planning to launch from here.
Yeah, that's right.
hmm I still feel that 39A for the Falcon 9s is pretty close. But having said that, I think it's important that the flame trench gonna do treat the flames this way and that way, right? So
Hmm.
so I think that's why it's probably at least related to the flame trench. It's not in danger, but it's not just the flames and it's the vibration is the other stuff. So hopefully the flame trench will do a real good job and it really won't affect the Falcon 9 launch pad.
Yeah, but NASA has a plan that, and it's not accidentally that the Slick 40 got a new um,
Yeah,
crewed
launch tower.
crewed launch tower. So maybe one day they won't have any more crewed launch, at least Falcon 9 crewed launches from this 39A from the historic launch pad, and that will be a quite sad moment because yeah, this 39A has a lot of history, and all of the most historic launches were performed from here. And but maybe one day only the Slick 40 will have this task to launch crew from Florida, at
hmm
least as, uh, performed by SpaceX. So yeah, that's why they have the crew access arm, and the crew 9 had the launch from this launch pad already. So it shows the future that one day the 39A won't have the capacity, or maybe they will they will delete every crew launch from that point just because of the Starship activity.
hmm I'm doing my very best to do my drawing fetish out of myself. So that's the new landing pad, because as you know, landings on 1 and 2 is no more.
Hmm.
And it looks like this is going to be the new landing pad, which is kind of crazy for Falcon 9, because that's kind of crazy that this is so close now to the length to the launch tower. And we were just talking about this new driveway here. Well, at least for us, new. This one, I'm not entirely sure if it has been there connecting the road over there, because on the right you can see there's a road coming in, and probably that's what they used to use for accessing Slick 40. So yeah, it's definitely they tidying up. Very cool. I quite like it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it will be
Okay.
quite interesting to watch the first landing attempts on this landing pad. So it will be quite near of the launch pad as well.
And I think it was our last week's program when we were just basically giving a thought that how wise this is from NASA and SpaceX that they have now two launch towers for human launches, as you were mentioning, because we can see now what's going on at Baikonur, and hopefully they will finish with the repair work with that pad. But for now, it's definitely not capable of launching Soyuz's nor Progress cargo spacecraft. So it's very important to have more than one launch tower, especially for human space flight, because if anything happens to your launch pad or the tower or just the infrastructure, you're done. You're cooked for a while. And
You to be accurate, you mean on the ISS. So the goal is to the ISS. So
human.
yeah,
I mean, Russia doesn't launch anything
yeah.
else as a human
Mm,
launch related to human launches. So I don't think they don't do anything like the Polaris Dawn
mm,
or Fram 2. So they're only going
yeah.
to the ISS or in the future their future space station, which going to orbit at the same inclination as ISS. They just announced it lately. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
very cool.
interesting story, but maybe we will cover it in a different time.
And just probably to finish our show, let's just talk a little bit about what SpaceX has gone through lately. Well, in 2025, because I mean they had a real roller coaster for sure. I mean, the year started with a nightmare. They were just in a hole. I think the hole was not dug by a Starship. Let's just state it. It wasn't like the IFT-1, but it's definitely the program was in a hole, and they were. I mean, they did a very nice comeback. They improved stuff. They improved the hardware. The whole pogo situation with the vibration in the second stage. I mean, that was hell of a firework over the Turks and Caicos Islands. Definitely nobody gonna forget those explosions, but I don't think that we want to see that anymore again. And then with the ship 36, that was just another low point. And then the last two flights, they were just amazing. And I
Hmm.
think they just did such a nice ending with the second generation Starships. And then the third generation just started again with the big punch in the stomach. So yeah, they know how to come back for sure.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not. So the booster rating failure wasn't because of structural or construction failing, but just because of poor COPV tank. So um, I try to be positive as well, and maybe the new generation will be almost as successful as the Block 2 or the Generation 2 was, at least on the last two flights, as you mentioned. So because if there will be much more, or at least a couple of failures and lost flights, then they will be in a quite big trouble, and not because of them or only them. I mean SpaceX itself, but in terms of NASA and HLS plans and so on. So yeah, and if we are adding that 9 months because of the law, or what of the Sioux origin, so not blue but Sioux origin was up these these sues on the courts because of the
Lawsuits.
lost HLS contract on the first round. So SpaceX lost already 9 months, about around 9 months in development of the HLS, and now this year they have lost not just because of the in terms of the HLS, but all in the whole Starship program they have lost again about 8 months or so. So again, 9 plus 8, it's quite a lot. If we are looking at the quite short-term plans, so that's why they need a much more successful 2026 compared to 2025. But I I'd like to think that the Generation 3 will be a successful construction, and even if, for example, the first flight won't be too successful, it won't be a much setback or a big setback for the development and the test program. And if they don't fly the flight 13 in 1 month after the flight 12, nothing happens. It will be 2 months, then okay, it's still on, but they have to perform the orbital transfer, so the propellant transfer tests around summer 2026. Otherwise, they will be in a big trouble in terms of the Artemis 3 mission.
It's very interesting because, for sure, on one hand, SpaceX is. I mean, we had a good chat with Felix about this, and he actually highlighted very, um, very smartly that SpaceX is doing absolutely fine, by the way. So at the moment, they are self-sustained, so they rely roughly 5% in terms of budget from NASA,
Mhm.
and the rest is coming from their own services, launching rockets, launching Starlinks, doing Starlink services.
Operate
So
Starlings.
yeah, so they are, as he said, swimming in money for sure. So yes, on one hand, Elon Musk is trying to push SpaceX not just because of Artemis, but because of Mars. So they cannot just sit back and relax, and they won't, I don't think. So, and in the meantime, although you mentioned Blue Origin in a negative term, but let's just admit something, and we did it one or two shows before, that Blue Origin is really speeding up. They are doing an
That's
excellent
right.
job lately, and in the short term, they can fill those gaps that NASA is needing right now to actually go on and fulfilling the Artemis plans, either with the Blue Moon Mark One being human rated at some point, sort of overarching those gaps right now that's needed to actually beat China. For some reason, there is this race now, which I completely disagree with, because you are focusing. This is this long short termism is sickening to me, because if you want to achieve big things, you need to give time for it. And if they're clearly they are focusing on the bigger picture, and it seems like they're getting lost with some silly games right now, that who's gonna put the first human back to the moon. Yeah, it's prestigious stuff, but otherwise it has no meaning in my eyes. Who's gonna establish the first base? Who's gonna be able to capable of mining and doing real science? That's the real question. And to be
Mhm.
fair, America has the advantage of that, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, but
So yeah, we'll see.
everyone, at least in America, because we don't have any news from China, but it's not a surprise. But at
Mhm.
least everyone talks only about Artemis 3 currently. So they want to land before China. That's the point, and they are focusing only about it. But in terms of the moon base, we haven't heard about it too much lately. So okay, Artemis 3 is done. Let's say before China, hooray! Everyone is cheering up. Everyone is happy with it with that. And then what? So Artemis 4 and 5 will come. Okay, maybe Lunar Gateway will be established and operated. And what about the base? So nobody talks about it lately. So that's quite interesting and a bit negative point in my eyes. So
Yeah.
and sorry, parallel China, of course, with Russia has the quite good plans for the ILRS, so the International Lunar Research Station, and they have a quite decent timeline for it. So they want to establish and start to operate it around in the middle of the 30s, so around 34 or 35. So, but America or the USA or better to NASA and the international partners want they don't have this kind of plans. Only Artemis 3. That's the point. That's the focusing. That's the most important thing. They want to land, and that's all. So,
Well, but I
it's
mean,
it's
with
so sad.
Artemis, that's what we can keep hearing that we're going to stay. So I'm sure they are working on stuff. Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah. And just to finish, this is so many people saying it so many different ways. Jukwe. We in Hungarian we call it chuchue. I don't know how to call it. But definitely this new rocket just did an awesome flight lately last Wednesday, and that's a very I just call it Falcon-esque rockets because it's pretty much doing similar stuff. As you can see, it's almost the same. Well, it's taller than a Falcon 9 and wider than a Falcon 9, but it has Starship capabilities. I mean, it's stainless steel. It has engines, 9 engines, which are Metalox engines, just like Starship. So it's
it's a
it's a
child of Falcon 9 and Starship.
yes, it's a crossbreed, but for sure it's gonna be an amazing stuff, and it did manage to put stuff, well, a payload simulator on the low Earth orbit. It did not land successfully. It crash landed, but I mean that was the first attempt, and
Yeah.
nobody gonna crucify them for that because SpaceX didn't do it for the first time. And yes, Blue Origin did, but they were taking their time, and it's not lessening their achievement because they landed their booster for their first attempt. But I mean, sooner or later, give it a couple of launches, and they definitely gonna launch this beast. And well, that's gonna be the third one. Well, actually, the fourth rocket globally that which first stage can land. So it's an incredibly good news. So
And more important, the first Chinese reusable rocket.
yes, indeed. Indeed. I know a lot of people are gonna say, yeah, they just copied. Well, I mean, what? Because they have great fins. Russian rockets have great fins. So Falcon 9 is a copy, right? So if you want to land a rocket, it needs legs. So is it a copy? No. I mean, come on. It's
Then let's say every car industry
four
developer,
wheels. Exactly.
yeah, it has four wheels, and everyone copies Ford T model or what. So
Well, yes.
actually, yes, but yeah,
And
everyone
let's not forget
copies everyone.
And let's not forget, Elon Musk used to say that if you want to copy, go ahead. More reusable rockets, the better. The rocket industry
Yeah.
must change. And finally, this change is taking shape. So I am incredibly happy for it. Let's finish it on the happy note, which I hope this was a happy note. And yeah, I think we will be back in 2 weeks, but please watch. Yeah, please rewatch our shows because we covered quite a lot of topics in the past. You can watch them on What About It Plus. That's the second channel for the Y family. And definitely stay tuned because you can see the live camera. It's a 24/7 camera. There are occasions when you can see 3 camera angles. So if you wanna stay tuned in regarding to Starbase, that's the place you have to come. Just bookmark this. And most importantly, Tuesdays and Fridays, Felix is rolling out the regular episodes. So that's definitely a way to follow what's going on in the space industry. So without further ado, we're going to say bye bye, and we will be back in 2 weeks, which is the 22nd, I think.
Just before Christmas, yeah.
Indeed. And hopefully we can tell you that Booster 19 is almost ready.
So be it.
All right.
So thanks for watching us.
Yeah. And have a good week. And we will be back. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.